Word was also given to Nicki Minaj on what type of show they want her to do and the type of performance they expect of her. Whenever they do a ritual performance like Nicki Minaj performed, they go into a closed conference and they have nothing but the high priest masonaries to explain and illustrating how this thing's supposed to be done. And that's just the plain truth.
I do 2 hours a day. This was you. 2 hours a day. I have to.
I'm just hating a little bit because I can't.
I love it. I'm not swimming all day. I do 2 hours a day. This was you. 2 hours a day.
Isn't it sad that the people you think care so much about you don't really give two squats about you? Her mentor, Clyde Davis, is knowing within hours she's going to be set up. Now notice Clyde Davis always holding his hand into a fist over fist. Now, in the Masonic world, that means time is up. His time has not come up yet. So who does he referring to when he holds his hands over his fist? Someone's time is up. It's Whitney. You see this, right? Now, Brandy received the letter, but it won't know part of it. Brandy and Monica both was informed that Whitney will go down so they can come back up. Now, these young ladies is young enough to be Whitney's daughters, and they have no character or no compassion for this woman's life. Now, that's the life Whitney Houston chose. We're not making excuses for her. Whitney was a grown woman and she chose to do what she did. We're going to take you through this and walk you through this slow. Brandy did not want that letter. So the camera woman noticed Brandy looking uncomfortable. So there's a publicist in the room as well. As Whitney Houston motions for her daughter, Bobby Christina, they're going to do something like a quarterback sneak. As Whitney is slowly turning, they're going to hand the letter off to be dealt with. But isn't it funny that Brandy is using this for a crutch to sell music? Check this out. Take it, girl. Okay, she ain't looking. Gone. Man, Lord have mercy. And this is the industry that y'all wait outside for hours and days to do American Idol, to be on X Factor, America's Got Talent. Do you understand in order to be a part of that world, you have to be demonic? You have to sleep with men sleeping with men, women sleeping with women. You have to follow rituals. You have to do blood sacrifice offerings. If not, you're not going to be a part of this world. And once you in, you can only blood out. You can never get out.
Taking the responsibility of this movie that means so much to so many people, you know?
God has his own time. I have to put it in that perspective because 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
What's it been like taking the responsibility of this movie that means so much to so many people, you know?
God has his own time. I have to put it in that perspective because 12 years ago, 13 years ago, Aaliyah was to play this part. She was our Sparkle, and she was absolutely perfect for it. She wanted it, and she was preparing for it, and we were going to do this thing, and Warner Brothers had the project, and we were just all down with it, and just happened. Very sad and very memorable moment for me. I remember just crying fiercely, and I just sat there and I was like,
Whitney Houston, you know you lying. She knew all about the rituals, and she knew who, what, when, and why they had to be sacrificed. She knew why Aaliyah plane went down. She knew that Damon Dash was going to go up in the ranks. Every entertainer that died before Whitney, she knew if it was accidental or sacrifice. Aaliyah had no idea what was going on, but she played the role. She took the oath as well. She threw her hands up in pyramids plenty of times, okay? But when Whitney was speaking on Aaliyah, she mentioned that they lost a sparkle. The sparkle was the sacrifice. Whenever they put a casket on the shoulders with the fist over fist, people, this is a sacrifice, letting the elite know it's been done. Now, whoever it was done for can now move up in the ranks.
God has his own time. I have to put it in that perspective because 12 years ago, 13 years ago, Aaliyah was to play this part. She was our Sparkle. And she was absolutely perfect for it. She wanted it and she was preparing for it. And we were going to do this thing. And Warner Brothers had the project and we were just all down with it and just happened. Very sad and very memorable moment for me. I remember just crying fiercely and profusely. And I just looked at him and I was like, oh my God. And it wasn't even about Sparkle.
Jordan Sparks is on her way. She accepted the oath. Now she is in the process of writing her name in blood. She will start in her first picture with Whitney Houston, Sparkle. They come in so innocent, but they leave out so tainted. She knows about the all-seeing eye. She knows about the rituals. She does them all well. She has no idea how deep she's in, but yet there's no turning back. Because you can never get out once you're in. The only way you get out is the blood out. To look at Jordan, she's beautiful. But the Lord don't look at you outwardly. He looks at you inwardly. And inwardly, Jordan is tainted.
Were you afraid that you had lost the voice, the treasure?
I was afraid that I had lost the spirit for it.
God.
The spirit for it. Like,
so you weren't worried about the voice?
No.
You were worried about the spirit for it.
I was singing to myself and God. But I didn't think...
You notice Whitney got a finger to the temple. That goes back to the rituals. If you missed it, let's recap. Who is their master of all of these signs of the Kabbalah of Egyptology world? Aleister Crowley. That's right. Whitney Houston knew the rituals and she knew them well. She was letting Oprah know, hey, don't ask me nothing crazy. We're on the same team. Keep it moving, right? Anyways, the finger to the temple is basically illustrating the mark master mason. It's a sign of a mark master. Whitney Houston was a master of her industry. She knew exactly what she was doing.
I didn't want to be behind the mic anymore.
And Clive helped you get that back?
He told me I could do it. He said, you got to do it. I was really afraid of going back into that world called the music industry.
Whitney did not want to be a part of the industry because she knew she would have to perform rituals, sacrifices, and be demonic. Look at the interview itself. The red chairs, the red carpet. Everything about this interview was satanic and set up to feed the people, to make sure that the people would support Whitney. But in the long run, it was nothing but a sacrifice down the line.
Before we say goodbye, I want to say bravo to Clive Davis, legendary music producer. Stand up. I want to say bravo to Clive Davis, legendary music producer. Stand up. Clive Davis. Clive Davis, who first heard the voice when she was 19 years old. We just want to say thank you, Clive, for bringing Whitney back to us. How does this feel to you? How does this feel?
You know, it's one thing to discover an old-time Hall of Famer, but now after a 7-year absence and 10 years between our working together, the real question was, did the public miss her? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you that the public missed her so strong that her album enters #1 on the album chart.
Whitney Houston throws up her signs in the Kabbalah. She's giving praise and homage to Clyde Davis for giving her a standing ovation. When Oprah said bravo, the name itself is satanic. You see how they coincide with each other? Whitney Houston was very aware of what was going on with Clyde Davis buying all of her records. That's right, I said records, because Whitney didn't sell anything. Clyde bought all those singles to make Whitney be number one. That's the way they get down because he owns the industry. Now this is the Kabbalah, what it means. They worship mercy, beauty, sovereignty, victory, foundation, glory. You see, this is the way they get down. These are satanic gods. They pray to these satanic gods and they just say God is good, but they don't mean what they say. They're talking about Babylonian gods. Nelson Mandela also worshiped the Kabbalah. See, it's all about sacrifice, rituals, and satanic Masonic folk. Folks, we can't make this stuff up. From political to sports to entertainment, they all are part of it.
It would be hard to beat Whitney at her peak. Hard, right? When I hear you sometimes, I do genuinely feel, and I'm not as expert like Clive is, but I feel she's nearly there, maybe as good now.
Oh, listen, it's hard to make comparisons. For years, working with the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, I was always said, well, can Whitney compare with Aretha? They're old-timers, and Jennifer definitely has that potential to be an old-timer. What we have to do with Top 40 Radio today, concentrating on electronica and dance music, we've got to make sure that artists like Jennifer or rock artists, the new Bruce Springsteen, the new Bob Dylan, has a chance to emerge so that
people pay close attention to what Clyde Davis is saying. The new Bruce Springsteen, the new Bob Dylan, he's talking about killing folks off and replacing them. Whitney Houston have to go down in order for Jennifer Hudson to take her place. Right? Listen very closely on how he speaks.
We've got to make sure that artists like Jennifer or rock artists, the new Bruce Springsteen, the new Bob Dylan, has a chance.
The order has been given. Whitney Houston has to go down for the Queen Elizabeth, Jennifer Hudson, and Brandon Monica. Yes, folks, this is what they do. So the order went out, and time is an essence.